Ohio Governor Mike DeWine is joining me on the Scott Sand Show. Governor, it's always great to have you on.
Hey, Scott, it's good to be with you. Fran and I just left Williams County, the Williams County Fair.
Nice.
They were celebrating, they're kind of wrapping up their bicentennial and had a nice, real nice time there. It's always good to be in Williams County. So it's good. But I was just thinking, if you wanted a politics-free hour, you're the king. You could declare that.
I could declare that, but as you know, and there are other stories in the state of Ohio that I'd like to talk with you about, but this has been dominating headlines across the state, now across the nation, dominating social media. The memes are going around. Let's just start right there with Springfield, Ohio, Governor. Are the dogs and cats and ducks and geese and squirrels safe in the state of Ohio?
We have absolutely no evidence that anyone was eating a pet, eating a dog, eating a cat. There were 2 reported incidents that the Ohio Department of Natural Resources got. One was in March, one was in August. One said that someone was seen putting a couple geese in a bag. The other one was that someone was carrying around a couple of dead geese. Both of these were in Springfield. They tried to follow up. One was anonymous, so they couldn't follow it up. The other one, they kept calling the number that the person left the number, and no one ever answered. So, we don't know whether those were true or not. We do know that those were reported by somebody and saying that they saw that. But as far as anything beyond these wild geese, no, absolutely not.
It seems to me as if
if
you're supporting the immigrants in town, is there a potential cover-up? Is it just not being reported? Is the next question.
Well, you can ask the mayor that. He's coming on your show.
Right.
Both the mayor and the city manager, it's backed up by the chief of police, and they've all said that no, there's no incidents. I mean, look, there was one story out of Canton,
right, which has been convoluted by national media. National media totally screwed that up.
Well, I don't know. There's a story out of Canton, but there's no story out of Springfield at all. So.
That said, I mean, the pets may be safe, but that doesn't mean that there hasn't been a problem by having 20,000 some odd immigrants move into a town that was built for 50,000. Yeah. That's going to create a drain, a stress on housing, on health care, on education, public safety, all of these resources, which now you're devoting $2.5 million, I believe, from the state to try to help alleviate those problems.
Yeah. Let me walk you through this, and look, you're absolutely right. There's a tremendous strain, and the mayor will tell you that. We've been working with the mayor. We're going to continue to work with the mayor to try to, help the citizens of Springfield. This has come about over the last 2 to 3 years. They estimate, no one really knows, they estimate about 15,000. You're right, that was in a town that for the last census was at 58,000. So it's a huge, just unprecedented number. Communities are used to having people from other states come in. They're used to people from having immigrants come in. That's what we have. It's not unusual in this country, but those numbers are massive. And so, I frankly fault the Biden administration for not having a plan. Basically what happens is someone gets inside the United States, and if they are from one of 16 countries, Haiti is one of those countries, has been for a number of years. I think Haiti's been on the list since the earthquake, which I think was 2010. And the theory is, and the argument is that these are countries where there's great violence and people's lives are literally in jeopardy, which I can tell you from my knowledge of Haiti. It's a country that's gone into total pretty much chaos, and the gangs are actually running the country, and not the inept.
And Governor, I think that's important to stress that these are legal immigrants. They're here legally.
Yeah.
You can question the Biden-Harris immigration policy, absolutely, but they are here legally.
They're here legally, and look, I mean, if you look at the big picture, there's no doubt that the administration has not done a good job in regard to the southern border at all. And so, discussions about who should come in here legally and who should not, we never get to those discussions because we have, illegals coming across the border. But let's get back to Springfield. And, my job is governor. We didn't create this problem. The people of Springfield didn't create it.
No, but Governor, and I'm sorry to interrupt you here, but Governor Mike DeWine here on the Scott Sand Show. Governor, you have been in office during the entire time that these immigrants have been coming to Springfield, Ohio. It's now 3 years later, and you're just acknowledging the problem. Have you missed this?
No, Scott. I have not, had a lot of press conferences about it. We have been working with the city for some time. They can tell you that. It's not that we missed this. My only point is that the people in Springfield, the elected officials in Springfield, the state of Ohio, we have no control over who comes. Someone can go anywhere once they have a legal paper. So what we are trying to do is to deal with the problems, and there's several problems. One problem has to do with medical care. And, you talked about the money that we're putting in. We hope, and we're still working, that will be federal dollars because the federal government created this. But I said, if not, we will have to, find a way to spend that money because when you have people coming from Haiti, this is a country that has virtually no medical care. And so we worry when you take 15,000 people and dump it into a population of 58,000, your natural vaccinations that occur, I'm talking about children's baby vaccinations. So the child doesn't get whooping cough. They don't have measles. We have better than 85% of people who are vaccinated for those things. That's why we don't have these epidemics anymore. But you could conceivably, we haven't seen it yet, but with that many people in the city who most of them probably never had any kind of medical care at all, that's a problem. So my only point is it's important for the current residents of Springfield. It's important for the immigrants, important for everybody, for just the general health, that this health issue get dealt with. So if we don't do that, you will be calling me and say, Governor DeWine, why didn't you do something to stop this epidemic that was started to spread in Springfield? The second problem is driving. Ohio law says, and we need to change it, I've been very clear about this, but it says that when someone is 18 or older and they go in to get their license, they have to pass, of course, a test. But they're no longer required, once they're 18, they're no longer required to have any driver's training at all, nor are they required, to be driving with someone else. All the things that we do to try to make sure that our young people, when they start driving, are driving safe. So what's happened in there is, and also the Haitians are coming from a country where the laws are very different, and it's just wild driving over there. And many of these folks never probably drove at all.
I don't know. Have you driven through Columbus after a football game? It's pretty wild there too.
well, whatever. But but look, the point is that we have a safety problem, and people in Springfield are complaining about it. So we have to have, we have to go in and we have to do driver's training. And that's what we have to do, because what's happening is,
well, and I would support that for America, for native-born citizens as well. There are a lot of people in the 30s and 40s that don't know how to drive.
Yes, totally agree, and that's a problem, and we need to work on that. Have been working on that. But anyway, those are the big problems. Housing is a third.
Housing, education. And I know that the Ohio Department of Education's annual report card came out today, too. Education's of concern in the state as well. Governor Mike DeWine here on the Scott Sand Show. Governor, I had Attorney General Dave Yost on earlier this week. Do you support pursuing some sort of litigation against the federal government that would prevent the federal government from relocating immigrants, legal or otherwise, in the state of Ohio moving forward?
Okay, let's be clear about this. The federal government in regard to this category, does not relocate anybody. They are turned loose, and they can go wherever they want to go.
Then how do we get 20,000 people in a small town like Springfield? How does that happen?
Can I explain this? With
Sure.
refugees, they do relocate them, and they provide support services, and they get nonprofits to do this. But that's a small number of people. The people in this category are, as you can see, pretty large. And so when you talk about relocating, the federal government's not relocating any. Wants to challenge, what the administration is doing, he can certainly do that. But there is a law that allows them to do that.
So when you're looking at a group of 20,000, how do they wind up in Springfield, Ohio?
Well, I don't think anybody can tell you that for sure. They're there because.
I mean, can we point the finger at like Catholic Charities?
No. Let me just. You have two things that are going on. Two things that are going on. We get jobs openings that could not be filled by companies. And the good news for Springfield is, in the last 10 years, those of us who live close to Springfield have seen it, and that is increase in companies. Springfield has historically been a manufacturing city. A lot of manufacturers have come in, we have food distribution companies, and that's the good news.
Unfortunately, it sounds like we're starting to lose the government.
But there could have been someone recruiting them, a company recruiting them to fill those slots. That's been one of the things that's been said, and that very well could be. I think the other reason you see Haitians coming is the same reason that throughout our history, when a group of people have come from one country and settled in one place, more people go there just because there are people like them and maybe related to them or people that they know. When my family came from Ireland in the 1840s, the potato famine, ended up in Yellow Springs. One brother did, but there were other Irish there, and we think they were probably there to build the railroad. So two things: jobs, and the other is there were people like them there.
Governor Mike DeWine on the Scott Sands Show. Governor, we're starting to have some trouble with your cell phone, but I appreciate your time. Obviously, we'll get more answers shortly from the mayor of Springfield, Ohio. Love to have you back on again to talk about the Department of Education report card, which does show some improvement in the state of Ohio. If you want to address that quickly while we still got a connection with you.
Yeah, with science of reading, we said that's what has to happen in every school. Schools are switching over to it. Some schools never left it. It's basically phonics. It's sounding words out. We now know that by far this way for it. And so we're
Yeah, we're losing the governor here. Governor, we've lost the connection with you. You're welcome on the show anytime. I appreciate you taking my questions.
All right. Thanks, Scott. Thank you.
Thanks. All the best.